thought your speech was really, I think you had some good points. I mean, like a little bit more organization of those points. Like, I think you kind of carried, like towards the end, like I think your last point was a little more balanced than the rest of your points. So kind of maintaining that parallel structure. And I was going to rob a bank, but after hearing that, not going to happen.
Okay, what points do you want to see in, like 3 points that you want to see him kind of flesh out?
Well, I mean, I think you really fleshed out like how it's like bad to be a criminal, but like that you're like when you're talking about like having positive goals or whatever, like that was a really short point versus that last one.
Okay, so
then your conclusion kind of went back to that having a positive. I think you should really sell that. I mean, it's in terms of keeping up your life on track. I think that having goals is important.
Yeah.
So you should have more positive, or at least equal positive reinforcement as well as negative.
Alright. Good idea. Yeah.
I work at a bank, so thank you for convincing people not to rob banks. But do you have any personal experiences?
No.
No, I didn't mean like that. I mean like.
I thought about it a couple times.
Like, do you have any friends that have been like into drugs, or friends that have gone to jail, or do you know a family member?
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of family members. You know what I mean?
Because I know.
I got a lot of people. I know people who done robbed the bank when before who done came out.
So I think that would be a good way to connect it to your audience, because I don't think that I'm not a criminal, and I don't think like I have friends that are criminals, but I do know people that have stolen, or I know people that have done things that aren't right. So I think if you share your stories, it'll help connect it with your audience.
So there was a lack of connection to the audience. So how could he change that?
By telling stories about himself, like, this has happened to me, or I've known someone that's done this.
So you could say, like, do any of you know anybody who's done anything illegal? Or,
yeah.
Okay. So you need to connect to your audience. Use her suggestions. Okay? Yeah.
I think that you should say things that are, even if he stole a taxi cab, you're still a criminal as a feeling. So I think you should bring into the fact that even if you do things that you think are little, it still makes you, that's still criminal activity.
That's a great point. It doesn't need to be bank robbing.
Just make it a thief, though.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. You don't need to, it doesn't need to be robbing a bank. It can be something small. I mean, theft is theft, I guess. Alright.
You know, plagiarizing can you go plagiarizing?
I think he's going a little different route.
Piracy?
Piracy.
For like music CDs?
Yeah,
That's something that would buzz them.
Yeah.
Like art or you could steal, you could rape someone else criminal.
Yeah.
I think you could narrow down your speech a lot more. Like, you're using good examples of being a criminal, but if you narrowed it down to like what Ryan said, like piracy, like the people stealing music, like people don't realize that they are doing something illegal. And I download music all the time. I've never paid for it. That's actually illegal. Like, just making
You're on camera.
So you are
making people realize that the things that they do that don't seem illegal can actually be illegal and do affect people.
So something that's more relatable than bank robbery.
Because how many people have robbed a bank? There's not that many people.
You can get some pretty good
How many people have
statistics.
thought about robbing a bank?
There was a bank robbery last night, actually, in Portland on 23rd Avenue.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't remember, but yeah, the cops from that area hang out at my work. Yeah.
I was like,
Okay. Alright, you guys calm down. Yeah.
I was gonna say that I agree with what she said about balancing out the positive as well as the negative. But what I was thinking too is that like if you're all of these bad stuff that can happen to you if you're a criminal, like if you kind of like again play that up a little bit and like try to scare people, like that might make a difference. And then what I was thinking, like just a suggestion, like if you did the negative information first and kind of scared us a little bit, then did the positive like information, then you kind of help us make us feel better and just warm it up a little bit and leave with like a positive ending.
I like the point when you said if
you're a criminal, it's really hard for you in many ways. You try to rob a bank, it didn't work out, it goes on your record, it's really hard for you to get a job like that. They all, it all made all the connections, but it also it showed a clear picture of how somebody has, you know, actually, you know, gone to jail, how it's hard for them to, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, that they should have it easy, but how much harder it is to, you know, do simple things just from doing something that,
like.
right.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, because I was thinking like of robbing a bank, most likely, you know, they'll be looking for you while you get caught, especially if you're not that bright.
People don't think of the consequences.
Right, and actually that's one of the things that I'll probably emphasize because I, from work, because I work with attorneys and I know the fact that most of the people that do these kinds of things, they do it over and over and over again. It's kind of like they don't really care, I would say, at a point, or at least they don't really put it in fact with what the consequences are, and they'll probably just keep repeating the same things over and over again. So that's probably that's kind of what I really like that you connected all the points.
Alright, first off, don't say I'm going to persuade you. Don't tell us you're going to
Well,
persuade
yeah,
us.
but you already know this one.
I mean, okay. I mean, and we don't want to start off saying I'm going to persuade you. We don't want to say I'm going to talk to you today about my name is, I'm here today. No, none of that, okay? So, flesh out your main points. Have point A, B, C. Have your idea and your facts, and it needs to be a little more concise and put together. I know this is just a rough draft, but it was kind of, you know, a little all over the place. I don't know where you're going with you don't talk with strangers.
They want to be a criminal, you don't know.
Okay, so, I mean, think of your points, and I like the idea of having the positive go last. So, you know, you have your consequences of what happens, and then the positives, and how to stay away from it. So think of the 3 points you want and really just discuss those without going off topic, okay? Alright.